In the coal-rich Kemerovo region of Russia, in the quaint village of Rzhavchik, a group of coal miners stumbled upon a remarkable and contentious find. They came across a sarcophagus housing the impeccably preserved body of an extraordinarily beautiful woman. Expert examination of the discovery left them astonished, as the evidence pointed to the possibility that this ancient human might have lived over 800 million years ago, predating even the existence of dinosaurs. You might be wondering why you haven't heard this captivating tale, considering its intriguing nature. Well, that's because the authorities took extensive measures to keep this discovery hidden from the public eye. Allegations abound that KGB operatives descended upon the village, meticulously erasing any traces of evidence related to the mentioned sarcophagus. Such actions have led to suspicions among many that the authorities are concealing the discovery due to its potential contradiction to Darwin's theory of evolution, a long-standing belief within the scientific community. On September 5, 1969, Alexander Alexandrovich Masaligin, a respected and experienced head of the coal operation, received an urgent message indicating that one of his miners had discovered a marble sarcophagus buried 70 meters below the Earth's surface. Without delay, Masaligin informed the authorities about this enigmatic artifact found deep within the Earth. Word of the discovery quickly spread among the miners. Masaligin was unwavering in his resolve to bring the sarcophagus to the surface, convinced that it held the potential to change history. Motivated by the prospect of discovering hidden treasure, the miners worked tirelessly to bring the marble artifact to the surface. When the sarcophagus was finally opened, the anticipated gold and precious stones were nowhere to be found. Instead, they discovered a young woman submerged in a peculiar pink liquid. She possessed an exquisite beauty, resembling a natural sculpture with her grace and charm. She appeared to be around 25 to 30 years old, about 170 to 180 centimeters tall. The young woman's eyes, a mesmerizing shade of blue, remained wide open. Her delicate pale hands featured neatly trimmed nails, and she was adorned in a sheer white dress that gracefully extended to her knees. Adjacent to her head lay a small rectangular metal object, resembling a cell phone. The body's impeccable preservation gave the miners the impression that the young woman was merely in a peaceful slumber rather than having departed from this world. Following the casket's opening, a throng of onlookers at the site gathered around to behold the captivating woman resting inside. Intrigued and driven by curiosity, one of the miners decided to disregard caution and dipped his finger into the liquid, tasting it. The following week became a nightmarish ordeal for him as he gradually lost his sanity. In the midst of a harsh Siberian winter night, he tragically froze to death right outside his own doorstep, unable to recognize his own home. The news of the discovery reached district officials swiftly, prompting government officials from Moscow to dispatch a red helicopter to retrieve the coffin within 24 hours. By loudly proclaiming that it was contagious, they managed to disperse the crowd. Despite their efforts, the helicopter could not lift the weighty casket. Consequently, the officials resolved to remove the pink and blue fluid enveloping the body. Surprisingly, upon its removal, the corpse darkened and lost its recognizable features. Subsequently, the liquid was once again poured, and the darkness rapidly began to fade away. Within a minute, a rosy hue returned to the cheeks of the deceased, and her entire body regained its former lifelike appearance. After sealing the coffin shut, a larger helicopter was dispatched to transport it. Furthermore, government agents in gray suits arrived at the site to impose a quarantine. The witnesses were gathered and placed in isolation for several days under the watchful eye of security operatives. Throughout this period, the witnesses were strictly instructed never to divulge any information regarding the peculiar discovery. A rather lackluster article about the discovery appeared in the local newspaper, leading everyone to believe that the story had reached its conclusion and further information would remain elusive. However, unexpectedly, the men in gray suits returned to the village and conducted searches of buildings and homes, confiscating all publications related to the article. They vehemently denied the existence of the princess and worked relentlessly to erase all traces of her from history. The newspaper's editor faced punishment for their audacity in trying to unveil the hidden truth that the state was desperately attempting to conceal. After her discovery, this captivating woman came to be known as the Tisul Princess, believed to have been transported through time from millions of years ago. Despite the authorities' attempts to suppress the incident, a few villagers who witnessed the peculiar marble casket and the preserved corpse couldn't keep silent, and the story began to circulate in neighboring communities. One courageous villager campaigned to reveal the truth, but he met a mysterious demise shortly after writing letters to certain members of the government Central Committee. The official cause of his death was reported as heart failure. Additionally, within a year after the discovery, several of the initial witnesses also tragically died in car crashes under unexplained circumstances. 5 days after the discovery, an elderly professor from Novosibirsk arrived in Rzhavchik and delivered a lecture at a village club. He shared the preliminary findings from laboratory studies of the recent discovery. The professor asserted that this rust-covered finding would revolutionize our understanding of history. According to the professor, the burial's age was estimated to be at least 800 million years old. The woman had been interred during the Carboniferous period of the Paleozoic era, long before the emergence of dinosaurs and the formation of coal on the planet. During this time, according to contemporary beliefs, the Earth was predominantly a continuous plant kingdom. With a resolute declaration, the professor boldly proclaimed, "Today, we are no different from our ancestors 800 million years ago. There has been no evolution." Based on their research, the woman's body was originally placed in a wooden crypt situated deep within a forest. As time passed, the crypt gradually sank into the ground, losing all contact with oxygen and collapsing. Over hundreds of millions of years, this transformation led to the formation of a solid and cohesive coal seam. The civilization the woman belonged to surpasses all current knowledge, including our own, because the fabric used to create the princess's dress cannot be analyzed scientifically. Humanity has not yet developed the technology required to produce such material, and the composition of the pink-blue liquid remains an unsolved mystery. Only a few of its components, formed by ancient varieties of onions and garlic, have been identified. As for the metal box, the professor didn't divulge much, except that it was examined. 4 years following the unearthing of the Tisul Princess, a covert excavation was carried out by government officials approximately 6 kilometers away from Rzhavchik Tisulskago. Armed soldiers cordoned off the area, and laborers hired for the excavation were strictly cautioned against divulging any information about their findings. Throughout the summer and part of autumn, the expedition diligently worked, leaving a massive and unmistakable plowed area in its wake. However, unlike before, there was no rush to share the findings with the residents of Rzhavchik, keeping them in the dark about what had been unearthed near their village. Several years passed before the true purpose of the excavations came to light. During this time, one of the workers, influenced by alcohol, disclosed to others that they had unearthed an ancient burial site seemingly linked to the casket and body found in the coal mine. Furthermore, they discovered 3 more sarcophagi closely resembling the initial one. The newfound information gave rise to fresh waves of questions, the most perplexing being how the Tisul Princess's body had remained so remarkably preserved and unblemished after countless years. She appeared not to show any signs of decomposition, resembling someone in a deep slumber rather than deceased. This peculiar aspect led many to refer to her as the real Sleeping Beauty. There is much speculation surrounding the identity of the beautiful woman found in the sarcophagus. One prevailing theory suggests that she could have been a surviving Martian who fled her planet after a disaster, or possibly a member of a spacecraft crew that crashed on Earth. Some believe that Princess Tisul might have been in a state of suspended animation, and the metal box in the sarcophagus may have acted as a timer to awaken her, providing an opportunity to resurface. However, based on the positioning of the princess's body, it is unlikely that she intended to wake up in 1969. Tragically, the premature opening of the sarcophagus and the drainage of the liquid may have led to the demise of the time traveler. However, it appears that the Tisul Princess is not the sole example of her kind. Around 1540, during the papacy of Paul III, a burning lamp was discovered in a tomb situated on the Appian Way in Rome. This tomb was believed to belong to Tulliola, the daughter of Cicero, who had passed away in 44 BC. Astoundingly, the lamp had been burning within the sealed vault for an impressive 1,550 years, but upon exposure to the air, it was swiftly extinguished. What adds intrigue to this particular find is the presence of an unknown transparent liquid in which the deceased was suspended. Utilizing this liquid, the ancient civilization managed to preserve the body in an exceptionally well-preserved state, giving the appearance as if death had occurred merely a few days prior. Despite multiple efforts, scientists found themselves puzzled about the enigmatic composition of this mysterious liquid, enveloping the woman in a veil of uncertainty similar to the preservation process itself. The inquiries surrounding her preservation gave rise to a multitude of speculations, encompassing notions of aliens, gods, alchemy, and magic, yet none of these theories yielded conclusive answers. Was the knowledge hidden within the mystical liquid on the Tisul Princess's sarcophagus ever held by Russia, enabling them to fully unleash its capabilities? The answer to this question could forever remain beyond our grasp. What are your thoughts about this? I hope you like our story. Until the next one.